Sem asitere mu nsɛm ne abrabɔ mu nsɛm titiri nsɛm a betumi ma Ghana man tumi afa ntoma prefer no ɛna yɛde baba ma so ɛne dwumadi so na yɛde wɔn a wɔn so adwene mu dɔ na wɔn adwene mu bɔ bew na yɛde wɔn aba abɛtena se na yɛso yɛne wɔn abubu mu na afei apa asɛm no nkasa no ebi a nokora ne bɛduru ɛne bibi a ɛsɛ nokora ne esi ɛne asɛm no Puma si bremidi edi onimonyamfo Kwabran Yeboah Junior yes streaming ewa therefore enten feed aso Facebook and YouTube and also betumi search for Omashi TV na wa bo ni akoma mesro we do what comment section no na wo de wadwen kire na tu na yakenkan e de ama kama ewo jumedi so entournament na kopem se no nkono bebo na ye de jumedi ni nyina aba ewie na nhyema ye beka ho asem e wodwumedi na eso National Communication Authority a suspend a radio station and kono na the into ma suspend this radio station including Wuntumi Radio Kumasi, Wuntumi Radio Takwa, then Wuntumi Radio I am in crime pupuni manchim no and I'm say right so more the governize a radio broadcasting no according to a National Communication Authority NCA no omobusa ran aso entino ama suspend you am couple so beto to omoniema ebi mo ka say we political rich hunting a station general ma the opposition party MPP ye sheda commercial senior omoni ntumi MP abontin ana say emra no mabusu intese emra no eni omudi senior emra no ehye MPP osroma yokuba time temale central by elections no mo de krata ba beto abontin say enya de omubekobie nanu arewo sema to Ghana man ama esum ni arewo ni abenidi for man no mu onmonyamfo yemra shebedwem ni edeba temale central onmonyamfo Mohammed Mutala no sa osrafo a no hwo oman na environment yapo mudini ye kwantem ye brane say ye mpotem kwantem ye route put him environmental and science minister now no arewosema to no intenam sentino enya dia wo mo beko temale central by elections na bi mu bisa say dey sanet dia say people for so mo nko temale central by elections dia NDC akotia by elections no dey say mo wo bi ayowu e be dia NDC for so nkase omo nko by NDC for party so mu gire mu pemi na kane mra shebedwani edema akotia manfo onumonyamfo NS kumi no mu hu ne say oya ma shebedwani edema akotia manfo because na battle ho nsensem na nkasa na the legitimacy ya fa ho no mu hu ne say na court back and front titi ye behwe sa asem so na yaka afa social media activists wo mu kasa edeba MPP for national security for akwakoso mo paichi amajolof na fanti comedy na say Obama na nsema o mo kekaye no bi no rehosem na nsema say ye condemn because enya de a ebebo man asundwe mu enti ye de videos na ho nsem ni nyina no de bebro ewo dwumedi no so na nda apamfo ye ne on betwetwe enkomo wo dwumedi so yawo agbanyo ye Greater Accra regional communication team member edema NDC ewa ha afa Michael Kojama ya ono so ye social activist ono so ebebeka yensa ewa ha na onumonyafo Lambert Apia Rossing opre se abrekuma South ha MPP for ewa ha mumma ne kwan no be parliamentary candidate no ntumi betu okuva that point fama mo no and also organizer edema the Friends of Educhu the former education minister ono so babeka yensa and amia Chief Dodu and so ba kayensa na mrebe muzo a Anthony Bazo ba kayensa na afino ye de djumedi ni nyina e de aba ewi enti no enyu kasa amfoni no enfrem sa de ba ye yesu production ya emopi na ye de nsem no e de abro yenti sikwe na ne wo man we mu ena nsem choni akane na oye edwuma e de ma radio good a de Samuel onto ebe kan sembi se obenyanka ye mampeni dada adodankwa ekufa player or rent ya no di tukan ebe yanka onya brain crash na Utie science we ni senia na ebobo ba nde bebi ya ba bedu na ende obi tumi bie nanu ebie ni sie duase num tumi kese obeku o mampeni no efri in bedu na yentie abrantie Samuel woncho na oye ejuba radio go sisi a original TV I'm not making that statement yentie mra
asofo nyina binya plane crashes American sofo baako yi minim ni din back about 3 years or 4 years ni erado wane na yere omukonya plane crash no mu ye yanka kra no na American superstar ya obo baseball yi Kobe Bryant ono so ne ba fe a 17-year-old girl erado mukonya plane crash no mu ye erado na no Africa ya play me ko sure no say since the power 150 cent ano mu ye erade moja edi bim bebre chire o monka enam plane crash erade boy na sa play we to a mofom erade crash sa the panel be sa crash sa play we crash okohan crash sa play we Ghana will lose nothing erade so claim this innocent weak
enti we ni ashema Samuel wonto emre bi twem okan sansemi ana bobo baaye na in the year 2014 one of the MPP demonstration omoto ndumbi na nduma moto no se ewurade enku mahama emawo 2023 so one of the NDC omoso demonstration omoso tundum se ewurade enku ekufado emawo na we ye de chechiro mani uditi and now also be now one CD data no akwakotra social media no akan sema ebebo man ebema nchichemu abo man ebema man na akechi no every baby na ebedu baby o na ye so anu sen na ye kan sen ene ye dia ba bedu baby ye du na ye ntie video a akosua jollof ene fancy comedy omo kan se wo de make sure say omampenyo a Ghana for to abama no is Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene ne yere Lodina Mahama make sure
me a one pebble na me kura de na nkiri na me pen sa me je fi kwasi apeni ampa wono ana na me expect say nko ka ho hwe sa wo boasi MP a wo wu bi de na wo gina ye hwe se ya to abawie wo se chenchen o de force be gise wa wini e kofa wo nkwala wo boys ba mo be boost MP ebe bu NPP ni no mutwetwe ne sabio mutwetwe ne hwa ne no kwati nyina edi nnua ene nsika nyina gina le so na wo ka se ko wada yes
Microphone betimi afesi NDC for squarely
That is what I mean, me person NDC for. Omuhu. Nkwasi asem John Mahama Juma wodi. Juma yeso ye di wo mo papa. Na sa plane crash ni be make sure say Mahama ye be kuno. Me akosu adolo of na America. Mahama ye be kuno akuni biem. Na ono de kokoo boto na ye de ni be hyem. John Mahama kokoo boto. Ene ye de ni be hyem ni akyekyere ano ni ato atwen. Ye be kire mu pa. Won kwan e fa so amuse kokoo boto mu no. Mahama ye de ni be se fertilizer boto mu. Ye be kun afe na ma wie ye Mahama so be wo be ye be make sure say ye kuno etwa ne yiriti.
Oh my man, I actually say, Obia nya kwakot. Assembly be free and be no aka say omo kasa wi anso ma so mo dwene ho so no mo kasa media mantiase na etese ye pekwan bi so a ye betu media savage aye social media bullying ekoso a these are some of the things as I say the minister in charge of communication and technology and digitalization Odmonya for Sam George and how we can keep down this because enye one mind yes sembi wa wo kan wan hwe di ye be che mind nim ye de ka so man pani wo de ne be che o man pani ko o de ne ba ko hye koku bottom how ye firi hin ya ba bedu na hin ye ko aso mind na hopsi adoye in charge of special duty at the movement for change after front of we but an account of insembia kosua jollof therefore yaka ewo goma ewe mu na kosua jollof beka nsembi say ye man penia be di chiri ene the chief of staff nsem form into informa no kranka beka sansem ru no kosua jollof ya so ye man peni o de Ghana bengas his excellency John Dramani Mahama nsembi obeka fa no de tie asema Hobson ekai
eja se mo ni first asema waka bi dida want to be say President Mahama ne ba anyem wakwa ye na abortion one day asem eye sabaya we ya na vice president yare ye wakwa ka say Jilo Zebra Con office what did say share na say we ya sage we ya sa na ache ana girl we ya adam ka say me MPP o muto de kwa krama me kwa me nko mu bim na MPP bill musu elections anu so me ni my wife mu say me house boy ni my wife akoda anu mabono su ade dia ko police say what trust ya no criticize they say this guy SCC I was said no Memo ayana mempese I know what you can do but say another you chime de no ba you chime de no ba na je addition dear your love
all right enti Hobson and I training camp aya TV and radio presenter ba ko or aya wuntu me radio aya Kumasi your friend Kwasa ba do na friend ajinkwa emra brain crash here be see here nipa wotwe ato ananam wonse every presenter ya no a ose Ghana fo emfa asudie ni enkobo eye ye mabeni John Dramani Mahama na etoda meaning the journalism na ye no meaning baby ebimu kosua no because oye a media person me better he asem bi America bi am the video evidence e support my wa wo hwem no hu say asem we na America and this oye journalist to me what I know about this journalism work and say you always come with your evidence your facts you cross checking double cross checking and so you're factual and so you're accurate. But you say you come and spew anything into the air. Because in some people now any evidence that a massive now can it goes on the tangent of misinformation and disinformation. Now then I say airwaves and sana kwa you. Udi enti no mra.
Metro TV so anyway this make a subscribe answer no in Sinfino e fa ntia Ghana for station so answer so and I'm saying me no ka say see ano a chenko suspending
so this year I can partner who one more responsible because he's aware of everything. Now we say in the first place, yes, I feel quite here. You can't tell my 50 quid. 7 quid and also 1 year. It is idea. First vice, I'm trying to say, Doctor Samasapo, Japa Catalan, at your set, Anna Yadia, I said, yes, anyone. Plan number so. Delegation protocols in your first year. Muntaka for Pena, yes, will be a training teacher sign. Nedam. Cafe Cachenipa. Say, yes, Muntaka for Pleno. And I to force his son, she said, a pudding is a sifum. A meeting. The pound of trade. I'm not for Papanum. I'm not for Kunum. I'm not for Fanum. Kase kwasa somewhere to say yanyi Jesus no ma wiara ka che say ye be hwehwemu afa ho ye be committee enye committee
some training pa some training pa kasi music kasa na ya re hose na Heledako or your communication team member the MPP ono so as NDC for ya be for na isi ale baby ahwe ase no ase ye mpanyin fo mu di o mai na ase kasa bi wa adwo na won ti ase o mu ya be fo ntina plane crash no esi e de ti
na mo mu de mu beyie ama mo nkrofa kofa plane na wu ye nyina ya ye di na ayo mu beyie nti ama mi ncho nti ya yo beyie helicopters presidential jet 2 years ago in His Excellency Nanado through the defense minister Ubekai Dominic Nitiu and the core parliament say ebusua ni ade na iko we need to retool our military e dey see okrom ha okuje to black wire ne si to supply yes I dey bo glass etu na no si mami nka say president
o fa here say na Obama aso ani abre no pay no
etu na no si Nanado danko ekufu ado so okrom ha a whole president Nanado to the Naya no call airlines for no busan say how much did it cost? And you come and yet. Yeah. Did they call him to order? Samre no. Omo come one to in a year order planes in the helicopters now. And if you between 18 months to 2 years. And son of water no aba.
Alright. Eti baby a minor pakobi. Say communicator contra TV so describe party bi so we are be for. Na by force say wakasa ye wa na ye tre say e ya branch e ba ko a ono so ye social media activist edema MPP dodo na fa say Obama or the popo asika ni din say national security for akoso the patch na before say o mba akoso the patch o post video bi production by intro video no fato so na yi sound ni frame enti say o hwe screen so TV no so video we enti na ma say Obama or social media activist edema MPP ama national security for apostle page no people be say e confirm more brandishing of gun we no they no person project ana they no person preach e go so be okite to like they say be our intelligence be and I just greet now posting way opeso academy opeso chede na omuko so the page so Obama imo I say skeleton na just greet for so mo ni mo ye hwe elo so omuko so the page my pan for na betra se na me inform and shall say eti boya say fire no so nto so we fa yawo agbanyo get Accra Regional Communication Team NDC yawo chief nsema ya kukosu ya fekwa de ese mo ya beifo Obama no no dey ade akata diti Heledako communication team member the MPP or describe mo party say mo ya witchcraft mo ya beifo na Osha in same year, I think say now reception. In same year, me did to 2 days. Young queen.
Okay, that's it. Every say about Papa by Inteno. Obi any aje. Me buy no me say changes about studio has
say about
changes about media minimum say my
Bible praise on about
Bible changes.
Ya ba ha na umba da ba ya nya fa ya ba ha
me buy reception reception na me nya ye cry to say ewiem asesa the smile no hey issue cry this time your mama issue ya to issue mama this time fact about Papa ba
the crack
ne say jump the money mahama ama enija ba studio ha no
the beauty casa ale na studio na station say yeah NDC station
even that one
station say yeah NDC station
big adapt at the mayor so for that matter about Papa ba but we will go into the issues. We are waiting for you.
All right. Hey, Michael, I go see your love. But say that about the colleague, as will be a social media now. But sometimes I am in brain. Say first and say, Uncle Udi kwa sema, obi to meet him. This just say Jay-Z for Yantiam. And to end the press, be a no social media, aqua can say movie. Because on my period, fertilizer about to how.
We say, my name is Dr. Frenya discussion be about the effects of social media likes and followership. And he made a statement say, those kind of things are like a dopamine effect. When you go on social media, imagine you post something and everyone is talking about it, how happy you are, people are noticing me and all that, so trendy. The likes, the followership is some sort of a boost to people's morale. And when it comes to this generation, I think that's what we want. We chase clout more than reason. Sometimes, we want to be controversial. But today I was talking to one of my lecturers at the university and I say, if you study law, everyone believes in freedom of speech. But if you study law will let you understand critically, say, even freedom of speech, you one pen, so I can't do
it. Say freedom of speech, a bit to be a guarantee, but freedom of speech,
thank you, you get it. It is sometimes, and I believe it's the dopamine effect being played, and also huge ignorance on the part of those people, chasing clouds. When him say, "Yeah, offense or can we and go win say uncle Becca," but say, "Young can be
the ripple
effect." That one is there. But sometimes, so just imagine the people that were on the live. You see, when you have a bunch of ignorant people who are like-minded, you feel say you are the smartest person in the room because you feel like you have audience. You see, when a blind man lists blind people, they all fall into a ditch. At that point, they feel say they have the platform, they will air their views, freedom of speech, whatever they say. And mind you, we are in a political situation where we have a strong bigotry when it comes to politics. Into him say the region they find themselves. I'm not trying to classify some people as maybe MPP people, but then the region they find themselves in, it is believed say predominantly. That is where they lean towards. And then the people that they have on the live stream at that moment are people who believe in the same ideologies that they also believe in. So can be the people will follow suit. And I was reading the article today. They are not the only ones being arrested. The Ghana police said that they are actually on a manhunt for all those on that particular live stream, and the comments that they made, they were made responsible.
Now, so things they say,
who say
facing the law?
You can't say facing the law. I think sometimes deterrent is very important. Yet you are not maybe imprisoning them or anything, but to let people know, and not to cause fear and panic, but just to send that signal out there. Say, if you are talking as an individual, know to the extent I'll be to my head, I can say, because the comments are very, we're bad. We're very, very bad. Very, very bad. It's imagine very. You get it. And you were wishing, said this person was on board. How will you wish someone bad? You get it. And for me, it's not like maybe arrest them in prison. I don't think maybe they will be in prison. But then just to send that strong signal to the youth out there, say, be careful of the utterances that you make. We are in a democratic dispensation. But then just be mindful of what you say. And I believe
be circumspect.
Around you. Exactly.
Yeah. National Communications Authority NCA4 has suspended 9 radio stations, including Runtumi Radio, Kumasi, Takoradi, and the Great Accra. Ebi muhu ne say as a more gage NPP stations and send them to me the freedom to also air their views. It's now stations that you mono, Mashada do momo, and as a more pello be at their suspendium.
Well, in this matter, the first comment I'm making is he who calls
for equity
must come with clear hands. Unfortunately, these are people calling for equity with bloody hands.
For how?
Of course.
Bloody
We
hands.
were all in this country. We saw what happened. People stormed the courts and freed people under trial. We saw all those things.
Invisible forces no kumasana.
Yes, someone MPP funded.
Delta Force.
Yes, MPP funded groups are Omuko Kose Mayhem Snade. And so at the end of the day, and then what I say, and then at the end of the day, Radio Gold, all those other radio stations that were perceived as anti-MPP radio stations, what were their crimes? They did not commit any serious crime apart from the fact that Abino Field said they were too much on their neck. This time around, what is the issue? Oh, the cat. And now I said there were certain conditions.
And I did say, remember NCA for the first communicated by there was a clemency. The president himself.
Yeah.
1 month.
Good.
Grace period.
Even upon all that, he expect to say, as responsible citizens there, and now correct this animal. But I'm considering because at the end of the day, they are expecting say you take any actions against them. Out Abeka say political witch hunting that they just as they are doing it in now a strategy or more put in place just to paint the government black. But so far, currently the Ghanaians are so much away. Right now, they obey that Ghana for with anything. You're very awake and alert in themselves as a radio station, as a TV station. There are conditionalities you need to meet. If you are not ready to meet those conditionalities, then it means you are not ready to operate the station. Or more businesses will come now. They all pay their taxes now. They all pay. In the other end, operating radio station, TV station, now one person will follow guidelines. Want to meet TV? Meaning out here or more. Some of the things are almost cano. Some of the things are almost can or more owner nankasa estimate dinner want to meet TV. So say go attack all events, go attack all guns, and these are issues of national security concern. In this, what do you mean? Any radio station, TV station, speakers opportunity, more attack government anyhow or more pedia. Then such radio stations and TV stations need to be brought to book. And these are just some of the issues. And you know very well that the NDC government is a progressive government. And this is a government that allows everybody to say whatever they want to say. But as you have already indicated, freedom of speech is guaranteed. But freedom after speech we cannot guarantee because your freedom after speech is dependent on the content of your speech. Right. Your freedom after speech is dependent on the content of your speech. You can't go and sit on radio and say that all events should be attacked, all events should be killed, all guns should be killed, all guns should be attacked. And then at the end of the day, radio station, one thing I like about you is the fact that you correct the person. Well, and I say sometimes friend say on withdraw. That doesn't happen on Ultimate TV. It doesn't happen.
Airwaves in the sense. I say a polarizer now, Obi Kotra radio station, ANDC, and Obi Two Gumusa should be our panel, Obi Diatamusa. I say, and yo.
Yes, serious issues. So some of these things you can't just do them and go scot-free. But you know how liberal the NDC government is. Now, the air course we often say we MPP government anchor saying the way where under MPP government, Caleb Kuda was picked up. You know what they did to Caleb Kuda?
So Mubumi.
Not also Mubumi. You oh yes. Oh, they did him. And at a point he had to even switch. He called it naturalization. He had to naturalize a fanti compulsorily. They asked him, "Oh yeah, I believe. Was it there be me a fantini?" because he knew the extent to which they would take his molestation if he had tried to align with the Ewe group. Because these are people who have shown themselves publicly that they are anti-Ewe, they are anti-Ga, they are tribalistic people and tribally bigotic people who don't want other tribes to exist in the country. And so if we want to allow these people to continue to operate the way they are doing without guidance, without any checkmate in there, and the democracy now at the end of the day, it will become a lion that will consume all of us at the end of the day. My Ghana people have a saying, they say, "We are more jatabi ole." When all these things are going on and we don't check them, we don't stop them from the lion that they are nurturing, all of us are in the country, we are all grooming them, and if we allow them to continue the way they are going, that's a stop or more. That's it. We cannot stand it.
Now, we also purchase it. Yemfa any a way to curtail or streamlize, especially you may be a cause on the social media. Woman is saying, but I know Ben is saying. Because I'm to say some George Castle or shut it down, then and sometimes I don't get it well.
No, dear. Who had a mind to say South Korea, China. I had one of my South Korean students at Alliance Française when I was a tutor at Alliance Française. We were flowing very well. As soon as the guy got to Korea, I lost contact with him.
Why?
And because they don't allow Facebook to operate in those places.
Okay.
They don't allow Facebook to operate. WhatsApp will not operate. And so it's hard for me to reach out to him. But we can also do the same thing. But also, these social media now, they know, use algorithms. Now, algorithms no more, use so no. Open who say, yeah, side no. No more push the bahano, junk and rubbish. Rubbish and wow.
So before the
no, at the end of this, you see, the concept of the mind, what controls your mind rules your life. What controls your mind? It rules your life. And you know, at the end da every day, open say, yeah, side no. They be out call social media no. And yet working video, insult, and now beef, and now say these are unnecessary. The unnecessary things are more. Therefore, if we don't get up as a people and we don't speak up, like the way Honorable Sam George is saying, now say one hair and streamline it is possible. He can do it. He knows how to do it. We can outrage, we can enter the systems and work on the algorithm so that our young people that are being targeted, and then I'm in a young group of people be I mentor a lot of young people across the country and the globe. Okay, so when I'm talking to you, especially our ladies, I say that the target is not the women, the target is the guys, but the focus is on the women. Why? Because to get a man, get the nakedness of a woman exposed. Sure. The target is the male child. So, but in order to get the male child, get the female child to take delight in that dopamine effect. Now, get the female child to get that dopamine from exposing her nakedness. So, across social media, we say the more nakedness you expose, the more people follow you. Sure. The more nakedness you expose, the more people follow you. And you know, at the end of the day, the young man, he wakes up in the morning and he sees naked picture. He gets to the afternoon, at the end of the day, when you break a or on the phone, algorithm.
Why are too addicted to the phone class and the phone in the class? And yes, what the business being so.
I say more. It's a young people know the way your algorithm know that, and this is deliberate. So that Africans don't rise up.
Algorithm now can breaking it down now.
Algorithm no. Any say I don't know. Yashishe. What I say? I say adia chichama obia. But open say what man call for no mammy no. So moon choose. But at the end of the day no. Uma a phone any book. Say on choose frame, but be there, mano, oba nakedness, any bema nakedness, say on choose, and now or no the one mano oba baku nakedness, any oba second one or no nakedness near honeho. Now the one man phone ni book so on choose no say whichever obey choose so no a quality kakra but oba has say ya choice now with their man no o choose so at the end of the day still it goes against him. Well, so that is the algorithm omu control app no omu shut down omu push ya there no. So this is African side, this is what we push there, this is Asian side, this is what we push there, this is American side, this is what we push there the more. And the thing too is in a way that when you open it, there who spend it best 3 seconds, 5 seconds on no, it is the same thing of the same effect now be in the next video. Then the same thing now be in the following video. But say at the end of our phone, so now swipe immediately. Maybe within the first 2 seconds, now swipe here. You will not see the same thing again. Oko on say, do you like this wheel? Are you interested in this? O click it, yes sir. They will say, okay, you will see more of these for some time. My name is after this or Facebook or TikTok, Instagram, they all have it. And the algorithm no. Inti omo sheda no omo push ade no. And the way come awufo no. If your young people are getting addicted to the phone, please check out what they have been watching on the phone.
But me be say what say let me tie one of our sister station. Mami bi ka say o say on ne ba na TV. But obehu ne ba na just a Sunday spare.
Oche them sir.
There be so how much 5. No about 10.
Okay.
Eti onya time. Man ba no. And me be say parents need failure and then and I must anya marry na ye hu and then. Because me dwuma me ntia hye.
Yeah, some more.
Got it in say ni yesu so say. In same want to me nka. What I say? O te bus no kwa hu sa akokora bi gina ho sorry. No at. And the crown to me akola wo school. Uko bu akola wo school ko fair cruise amaya be.
Amaya be.
Sister man na every
no. Wo teacher ni na wo tia akola no. Say asem no kopie empeyfo animu a wo teacher ni ye betia wo. Ye nkotia akola no. Ye betia wo teacher ni. Teacher say teachers no so afa mo ade. Wo be school abeye na eduma edi ni sika ko ni fie. Yes. So if you want to stay out of trouble as a teacher, go teach. Take your salary and go home. Into corner say nkola no gidigidi blue or baby and fa home kwashem because at the end of the day your wo teacher no na ye ba be hold o. Na wo ye den wo ho. Into wo mpe ho asem dia then you don't go there at all. Because at the end of the day Ghana Education Service omo interest no nkola no and at the end of the day the teacher becomes the third party. And na ono no obebre for the irresponsible character of the child.
All right, follow. Okay, nipa echene kan din the yawo agbanyo Greater Accra Regional Communication Team member edema NDC order na echene kan dwedi boot for boot. It says stream live where there for time if you the social media Kenya stream bend YouTube and Facebook searching for Machi TV able to be able with Mike show NCA for ya on close to 9 radio stations, including Wound to Me, so there will be any say Omujama MPP. If you say mafia, if you say a political rich anti, young queen.
Honorable woman, I say, medical chair, if anything, in your bear multimeter, I'm the chair, so I'm with you for any wash your phone, you know. Near the kind, sometimes, never be say, I may know. I prefer for us to look at it from 2 angles. The first angle has to be with sanity, and then we try to look at the angle of politics, because regardless of everything that we see, there's an iota of politics in whatever that we do.
Yeah, come down for big crack. Also, prepare politics.
You get it. So, in as much as maybe it might be the right thing that we are doing, but then always, there's always a political interest. First thing, we all know the history behind it. Say, the radio stations and TV stations that were due to have a closure or their licenses revoked were 62, right? And then the communications ministry actually went ahead to suspend them. But right after the suspension, His Excellency the President, on his mandate given to Ghanaians, said he's in for a reset. And then in for a reset, he's going to demonstrate, say, okay, this is what I want. Now say ABSC times pass, say ABA, the previous government didn't even give any amnesty at all. I would set that precedent to come in and to show the way. And for me, when I saw that, what I saw is pure leadership. Because mind you, Sanke straight ahead said Honorable Sam George now.
Speech I say how can I say wound to me before the mom clemency or can I say how can I wound to me any pro MPP stations and I affect you.
You get it.
More time.
You get it. So that it will not. He was just trying to make it obvious. Say he's not here for any political witch hunting. Which for me, when I saw, was a clear indication of leadership. And then I acknowledge the president so much for that. So the minister had to come back and then announce it to the general public. Say the president has given some sort of leniency for them. They should go and do their homework and come back again. And mind you, if you want to take it from the political angle, Asasi Radio and Asasi FM is an MPP-owned TV and radio station, right or wrong? But they came out clearly to indicate, say yes, they faulted on that. Their payment of the alliances was due, but they didn't pay. So whatever the government initiative they took against them, it was the right thing to do, right or wrong. And we even saw it on Gabi Ochedako's Twitter post, saying it's right. Now let's come back. After the 1 month amnesty by the president, out of the 62, the minister has made us understand, say, most of them have done their homeworks. But these 9 suspended TV stations, were the ones, radio stations, are the ones still faulting. And mind you, it is not only wound to me, multimedia, you're suspending them.
Production for communicating to screen.
You get it. And you're suspending them. There are other media houses include Don Plus Multimedia Limited, Dreams Ghana Multimedia, Jam Multimedia, Joe, and all those Pandai things. But then, this is where it gets interesting for me, Honorable. When it comes to Fen is saying the NC, Fen is saying wound to me is own, and I'm a person for a very critical when it comes to this point. And I'm going to read a communique as you have it on the screen. You see, whereas many of the violating stations took steps to remedy breaches during the amnesty period, 3 stations failed to remedy some. The key word here is some. Some of the breaches, including unauthorized use of studio to transmitter links. That one, I know you know what it means. Right. Frequencies and unapproved transmitter locations. The operation of the following stations have been suspended for operating without a certificate of compliance in violation of the Regulation 54 of the Electronic Communication Regulation. Intimibusa will say, listen, so it means they breach some. And this is where I think the politics is at play. And I can say, when you take it from the benefits of the doubt, the government gave amnesty to everyone. And out of the 62, a lot of them did their homework, including Asasi Radio, which now they have been cleared, true or false. Now let's come to wound to me. This is why I say there's a little bit of politics in it. Because looking at the justification of their suspension, it said some of the breaches, including unauthorized use of studio to transmitter. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now let's look at it holistically. What clearly are we trying to say when it comes to Wound to Me Radio? For me, when it comes to them, in as much as they are not doing their things right, but here we can see a bit of political, how do you call it?
Transmitter and so you can use the studio to transmit.
You get it. And on make you so that's what I'm saying. That let's be open-minded about this conversation and then give acknowledgement where it's due. The president did marvelously well, and by the minister complying, it is very true. And I'm saying that it is not only NDC and MPP stations when they are pardoning them after the amnesty. Asasi Radio did their homework. They renewed their alliances and then they have been given back their right to work. Now, but when it comes to Wound to Me particularly, let's underline the breaches that they are saying. Say they are still breaching. That is why I'm saying that there's a politics at play. You get it? But then my brother made mention of something which is very interesting. And I think this is where sometimes we need to be very diplomatic about it. In as much as sometimes we are talking about the tribal and the political bigotry when it comes to some of the ethnic groups or the tribes in our country and how politically they are affiliated. I believe so when we are communicating it, and my deep in how the media houses, the rhetorics that they push out there. But rather, let's seek to educate, to eradicate that kind of mentality. See, I can say, want to me radio, and I want to me multimedia, and they sit there to propagate an account or an Ashanti ideology or superiority over the rest of the ethnic groups. Any MPP, let's put even the MPP agenda on the floor, because we know it's an MPP media house. But then the ethnic agenda now you're promoting. When communicators sit like this, after we talk about how they seek to do it, let's try to rearrange the minds of the public to know that is not the way to go. But not try to use it to score political points. Okay, this is what they do. So if the alliances is revoked, it's in a step in the right direction. The American what you say, my yenesa, yes, Anna, it makes it seem say okay, if we are revoking the alliances or suspending them, it is because they do this into the yenesa. Mind you, we have NDC multimedia houses, which one way or the other also affiliate to any some tribal or ethnic group. Which one way or the other, they also push the superiority of that ethnic group above others. Internal so konya NDC communicators kotina honomo, and they are pushing the agenda. Say, oh, in 3-4 years say 3-4 months asante for one do. Internet say this year. What do you think we are doing? At the end of the day, we are beefing up a fight that is in the cold store. That one day when it comes out, people will be headlocks. I have someone throw me out of the apartment because she perceived I'm an Ashanti. But meanwhile, I'm not. But I'm an account. Say, I'm a account, And the reason why she did that because of share social media and I will be editing kind for them and I can for you say and can for you say. And because of that alone, she before to the point that she gave me an ultimatum to vacate her residence. You get it? Into me can say when we get a chance like this, those journalists or media houses are propagating the agenda. But as communicators, when we sit down, let's not re-echo the things that they say. Because you see, this kind of things incite anger and violence and hatred against each other. That is not the country that we want to build. Ghana is made up of different tribes, religions, and order. It is the harmony that we have that is keeping us going. That's why when you have an Akan president, we have a not now or Ewe or Chi whatever vice president to bridge the gap between the ethnic gap. I would like to tell my brother sometimes, let's not re-echo what the negative that they do. But when we talk about it, let's make sure, we treat it to kind of reconcile the people back to what national discourse and national.
Politician,
what you are here, but just because to score political point, when I sit here, I don't sit here for any of those political parties. But then for the youth and the benefits, okay. But to what extent will we go and push our parties? What? Matthias, yes, but honorable, may can say to what extent will we go ahead to sell our parties' ideologies or parties' agenda to the populace at the expense of national security? I know me can want them no, because mind you, an Akan will hate an Ashanti because of the unsenkophobia or hono.
An Akan will hate Ashanti.
Oh, sorry, an Ashanti will hate a Gan because of maybe the what radio so and TV. So some people are not emotionally matured enough until they swallow everything hook, line, and sinker. The obe who say they are the party here canon. Dear. Obi canon and no better than obeji the only one musemushi. Any as you can find say I can for I say 3-4 I say. Intina make us you can miss honorable. Let's make sure say when we are doing politics, we make sure we put national security first. And then ending I'm also ending by saying the president did well by giving the pardon, which most of the the stations worked on to secure their spot back. But when it comes to me, particularly these 3 stations in the Accra, Kumasi, and Takrade alone, when it comes to the breaches that we are saying, I think there's more to it than just we saying, they violated most of the regulations that was implemented. I think maybe we should rethink that again, if only there's no any political motive behind it. For me, that's how I say it.
I'm a social activist in Toronto or Ghana, so that's to be neutral. You come out for some neutrals. I buy me buy the Biako share. Habo, Porten, Habo position.
Oh, that is send the idea.
I
said, look, I was a front line for NDC for so many decades. Masaba, no Medusa, no Masaba.
I mean, I come to Eugene and watch it to be former Sudan MP.
Just Myanmar.
Well, I say Muki fan or Cassim Dubia. General Secretary, press conference, I be doing the Mena.
And your sanity, and your sanity,
or Cassim Quitch,
quite Mauna owners about and your sanity. Quite and your crime war assistant station. Yes, wow, we should a small kind. say because of the
bebe amonsisa
oh
bank MPP wo kamo be sa ade wi anka be boa but ahwe enye yi kwabre Japan ombra secretary na buachi ejako onko chairman
na wo no be chire party na
ye
we are you NDC but we are NDC
me ye neutral bo be am gina na say me to aba
enye gina wa
okay na wa ye neutral we are neutral so to aba so far as I to aba baba ko de o be am
lo the case gina wa wo to say say ni European ko to ankofo because say you should to omu ewu
ye
de mi de na mi chira ye Abrikwa Central chairman Robert Dazi originally na so in fact nyama odi ba Abrikwa Central especially ebo ama executives ni Abrikwa Central fa na tuma pa fa originally na so oguso a o hihye ne me bama 2020 we win election na Jefferson guso a o ye de duma o ye na
o je relative nse
oh na se wo bia
ko mo ye clean up o abosi o kai
ye hunu Abrikwa Central fo ye hu mi hunu that is
ba mo so ba
na na clean up na se mi so mi ye bi
okay
me you to me ya community me ye bi me ye bi nti anu de anya de a enya mpi adwuma no enya mpi adwuma no mpi adwuma o se wo make sure so wo be ye wo be nye de wo de nyama bi tutu kwan na ye make sure say ya assembly se adwuma any assembly man ni DC ni chief executive adwuma o make sure say wo pente any district no me ye adwuma na ye areas ni na e be ye kra be hwe na enye MP na wakotina go tam na wuchi sa area of the bumping that John Dorins nya mo ya o diga na for esebiu Ghana for whom says esebiu ye ni po betumi abu mu na me ye o kon na ye hwehwe o Ghana ha 90 years ye hu bi esi ye o Ghana ha nye 4 years no betumi dia ye bi o Ghana ha iti ya asema wudi atudwa no mama ko asem to street the tell you say ye nua ni mendis for ye nyatwu na a party bi o ye nyatwu bia nyatun a god with the corruption any rangura any friend say buka party
the pot calling the kettle black
you see
what has look ladies
oh that's a meeting you can any on me tie mi
no platform
is calling the kettle black
it's your phone okay ya any institution what Ghana anya obia eminwe ka say wakasa fine send a better institution what Ghana be you juma without any interference of the political parties what Ghana and any political parties be power there by institution need to work to the fact say ebema nyamu ye juma wa anya ebe ye juma ma na tumpo enya sanity it's a bibi ba be mu say radio station TV station do do na do wa enyamu so mu ye no mutumu di ye juma ma o man tumpo o mu nye ebi wo license ebi wo akọ mefa so metu o mesika any a fiscal o metu o say akubia o say we renew license
normal radio they are 5 years
yes nti enya sane amone nyina na ba ni say
TV na monthly
yes microphone
they want to hear their one ya two
yes microphone bebre wa sa hihye o mu di so nti aba no e kan say e be di microphone license nti ye dey sumitu o tu o so for the meantime me sure only say the esu mo the same one meeting say me what but difference o me say your mom penny person or your populist approach say or you to say Ghana so ye adwuma nti ono about minister Rebecca na about hey me say to so
maybe na e be a consultation be a
me see your mom chance me boy your mom chance so o metumi di NCA for atena ho na obi a wo difference obi a wo twa scam here time level almost about 2 months and what the records are there the facts and records are facts and figures and records are there it's abanu ema chance ebinum edi so andi so ebinu samre nu ena safo mi eji wo mu last including radio go
nani muntie
so eni muntie but end of the day you no last say ma wo ema mu yeduma sadetie si ye pese ye di institutions ni yeduma mu kwa ye politics e wo sanyam bia ya ye di ye hu hyem ye bia na ye politics e ndi sifo sa isu bakra omri ye politics nkrofo nye duane de kom ye politics institutions say ye duma kra omri ye politics enu na ndi sifo omri on politics Ghana for nyina ni bia omri ye politics o rompeni na kufa do tari kra omri ye politics
ofo play kra
no bia wo Ghana ha enti asema ebe ye media minu aka say o mapeni obo na baso mi bo na baso because a populist approach no person Ghana for nyina tin nka say o ye bibi send be Ghana for mo say
I'm one man populism
me bacho o be say Ghana for say bi o ye adwuma no me ba
but so o ye adwuma
me see tie o Ghana o ti Ghana go to the street ask Ghana that is
transportation out here.
What do you say about you? Now, this one, sometimes only 50 pesos are two.
I didn't know. Actually, I'm saying, so what I say, the call it. You know, open 50 pesos.
This
but because I said, yeah, no matter GSC.
You see, a Uko hospital. Now, Ukonya nurse been on the 3 years. No, the panion, and what will be a coffee, I will be a better. Ubo Simon nurse. Now, Konya nurse be a said you need to hear. No, the panion, nurse be a who fear for us over. Who are your nurse be a fear for us over? When you come to other radio station, TV stations. So many radio stations and TV stations, I have pride, and no more from pride with Nyama, a banker say, or more chance up to the 1 minute. No more fine system Yamani. Now, no man, no money yet. It is a bundle that they become Bambi Baron, he said, you be one coy, not so tintin, not so pay any year. Or said Ghana for any man, your mom pine, no more, but only Yana said, your moon, and yes, they become once. I'm a band soon said, your yen, and yes, I need to also yen, my pass, any medium, no medium or mine. And he said, TV station, do go on a license, I'm all more Juma. Won't you enemy tea and a pine tea won't to me, especially Omo Waka, a friend is a miracle, they will almost say, Omo Dika, Omo Yobia, Omo but Kumase, Takra, didn't you my Bibia, but the Omo can say, was so much come said last and so now on the mountain. Sebia, Omachi on Muchai and Pet.
I don't know Muncho.
Yes, so much. I see you so make sure say, Niamon Castle Mayan and as for my year. Niqua Swano, Ewoma Quanso. It's a new penaya, but only there's nothing. You say me by so I can't be I have a transmission. Almost no coming out, but the attendant said, I buy back.
I need an interaction. You know, I just read the studio to transmit that.
That's why.
Because Okofa radio station, maybe I will radios. He said, Accra, Plan B, Mimi, I had more. 10 for you call Kumasi, who do Kokwa, Ochi Plan B, Baura Kumasia. It's NCO4 radios, AK, maybe a 4K and a 3K. They be overly and they're fine. But some of my idea, I don't know the reason why I'm say I'm suspended.
Me.
Because so far radio stations here and now you can win here. I say be na station.
But that is not the case. As I said, Ghana, omo ma point. Omo ma point. Ma Ghana for 2 years.
2 minutes now.
2 minutes now come the man say. Me to me can say NDC for the Omeka said the MP before here because me who said before I be afa ejuma here ejuma dia na say saa dia NDC for here a mo person mo di run for na MP radio say so mo tum say na omo corruption ni nyam omo ye no but say ne tie bia Ghana for the ombetie the NDC for here and I'm trying to say because of politics and anti because of the MPP station so no ma say that atum but nyamo NC fi so mo be ba no so ma ni nyina kon person e tie ndie ene o say NC fon hwe no mo do last ma wo no mo ye no
ma me ni ade we free on motor me be my can be for say who cause for equity must come with clean hands. I think sometimes we use certain phrases or words to juxtapose quote unquote meaningless things that we do. If you are calling for equity and you want to come with clean hands, I always want to hold the government to his words. The government is saying and is calling for a reset. So when I hear party communicators trying to say, oh, MPPA say, until the MPP for can say, okay, you be different, say, and now some communicators can say, oh, NDC communicators can say they be Mo kasi yenye si mo time no then am here na. I don't think it's
the norm.
You see, that is the problem. The fact that something is bad and has been a norm for a long time doesn't mean it's going forward. No, it should be practiced. That's basically what I'm saying. So if I am calling for quality, if I'm calling for equality, and you're telling me, say, okay, NPP did something wrong. In NPP did something, that is why the Ghanaian people said NPP is doing everything wrong. So let's bring in the NDC to make things right. And then the NDC promised Ghanaians said they are coming to do a reset. In this reset, not still your communicators are saying, say the people or the people do not have the right to say if you are doing something wrong, we are calling the spade. You know, I'm calling for equity. So you did this thing bad. So don't say we should also do the same thing bad. Are you get what I'm saying? It is not right. Let's condemn it. I would understand. Say if you are saying it's okay, we are doing this because okay, I think it's the right thing to be done. Then I will say to you, you believe it's the right thing. But let's not say they did the same, so we are doing it for tax.
All right. Order for you media when you do so, I will share boot for boot. You ever work with a Joada and we call the Mrabo and we don't know so the copy. Say streaming live for other for change if he did. So may also be the comment, but Mintiasi, I'll say then. Gan de the person charity ni pano bitimi as ababi o se na po akra yawo yem rayan hwe Temale Central MPP for say Namdi CNT omunyamfo mu abed mutala oyema she bedwa ni de mawo mu ja atorenchem kesi tu omu nti omunko ebi mu so pa che say ne sanity de owo bi ayowu yakumi enese yakubi so akotia by elections ebe an kind this for most mun kasa mun ko bi na yenko yin what time minister.
Thank you chief answer na me ya assembly ya no
that's all about
a lot of unfounded allegations. Wait MVP wait them need answer because or no see or you try me person me be I or no try be that the then say they say nya abanya for 7 solid months we have not heard of any corruption scandal. Can you name? Can you name? Can you name one? You can't name one. But this man is accusing us of corruption. This is a party that every single day of their 8 years in government was bedeviled with corrupt scandal every day. Today we have 7 months clean. For the first time in your life, you have budget red. And instead of increment, we know in the 8 years of John Ejeku, we were all in this country. Every time there is budget, what we knew was that there's going to be increment of cost of living, there's going to be increment of prices, there's going to be increment of petrol prices, and there's going to be increment of transport costs and everything. It was under their jurisdiction that government and budget reading became synonymous with increment of prices in this country. For the first time in your life, you have a government that has read budget, first budget, mid-year budget, and you have not heard of increment. Rather, you have had reduction in petrol prices. You have had
over 8 taxes.
I bought.
Now we are
I bought 50 kilograms of
40 50 pesos.
I bought 50
kilograms of rice at 620 Ghana cedis this month in Koforia. 620, 50 kilograms, I mean, not 5 kilograms, 50 kilograms, which was 980 Ghana cedis just last year, 2024. For the first time in the history of this country, you managed to buy rice 5 kilograms at 60 Ghana cedis. I was in Kumasi last week, and you could see rice, 5 kilograms of rice. They were selling 60 Ghana cedis, 65 Ghana cedis.
It is not true.
It is not true. No. I mean, it's 5 kilograms. I'm saying that. I'm saying that.
100 cities, 120. And now we are in this 100 cities, 120.
No, you have to call him to order. I have the platform, so you have to listen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, for the first time in this country, we have petrol prices going down. And when I was coming, the young man I told you was the one leading me here. I engaged him in an interaction. I asked him to give me, he's just a young man like this, so a student, and I asked him to give me his honest appraisal of this government. And the first thing he mentioned was the stabilization of the city.
What say artificial?
Oh, and yeah, now say, okay, if it is artificial, all of us are here, and you can't inflation now, we are not saying the reduction. And look, I can't reduction, you can't the rate at which the increment was coming. Because under their government, almost every time, every week or every 3 days or something, you will hear that they have increased the price. Obekwakoto 5 kilograms of meat. Now price near say the following day Obekono now increase the different price. Another day Obeko increase the different price. That is the inflation we are talking about. But this time for 7 solid months,
price control and
what it means was that this time there is leadership. That is the difference. Now there is leadership. There is a leadership that has not touted themselves as economic messiahs. At forcing when you ask him, he will tell you, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to stabilize, and that is my focus. But somebody told what a solid team. all the solid teams, they took our CD dollar exchange rate from 4 Ghana cedis to 17 Ghana cedis per dollar. And then here we are, instead of celebrating this man, John Dramani Mahama, even the peaceful atmosphere we have in the country. Now, I don't see, one thing I don't see these days, and they say, mate for any passenger. When was the last time I was I'm showing you, say, Ghana for who said there is a clear difference. It will take a high level of abronism. It will take a high level of abronism to say John Dramani Mahama government is not 4 times better than a Akufo-Addo government. If you like, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. The fact is that John Dramani Mahama government is better than a Akufo-Addo government. Anybody who is being honest will accept this. Yes. Because of your remarkable performance, what I say, because of your remarkable performance, Tamale Central, seat. Omo say no matter what they do, because Tamale Central, seat that coupled with effective leadership, that tells you that even if they contest the Tamale Central election, it will be a waste of money, a waste of time, waste of energy and resources for them. But let's come to Akutia.
Before I go Akutia, okay. I'm for so Kase Akutia by elections a heightened tension because of the Siwa Blackman. No, it's a Kabayanka Munchasu. But they 2 days when you didn't be in a motor.
What is democracy? What is democracy without election? Would we say because of violence there should not be election? Would we say because some people are threatening? That is just mere threats. MPP, they are toothless bulldogs. They just shout and back and make noise. But when it gets to the ground, they all run with their tails behind them like dogs. They can't do anything. Therefore, with the kind of security we have in the country right now, anybody who dares to go cause mayhem in Abuja will smell the taste.
Is it a threat or what?
It's not a threat. I'm just saying the reality, because nobody should plan to go to Abuja to go cause mayhem, because so to consolidate our democracy, there was an election. Now Munim said, for we are going back to collect our seat from them in Akwetia. And nothing no move. Now say Akwetia seat, no one say swing seat. Say constituency. What they say? Until they are afraid. Only say Baba Jamal na no otiso.
Na ma say be born
NDC Baba Jamal. And due to certain little negligence and misunderstanding. I must say, or call parliament, or call flow, yeah, so I say, or call flow, yeah.
Go ahead, Wessa, into
flow, or no, so be flow into flow, I understand it. But looking at the current performance of the NDC government, with the kind of goodwill that the Ghanaian people have given to John Dramani Mahama, the peace, the love. One can say, "Okay, John Mahama Kukruma, or any ahumba."
But how good will the Kufado class when you?
No.
Kufado is how good.
No.
Or by let's say people are very conversant to film. Problem say, you maybe do level B.
Yes, so Afena, yaba, and we have the goodwill. And it is at this time that the election is taking place. And that is the fear of this, my brother and his people. They know we are taking the agriculture.
All right, forward.
We won't withdraw.
All right,
we will contest, we will win it.
All right, forward. Nipa Yetinika, leading the Yawo Agbenyo, or a Greater Accra Regional Communication Team member, Edema, and this chief. Mupati in Mose Temale Central, and Yadia Mubekobi, because of the EC. And I say, as a communicator at the party.
Yeah, you see, sometimes, you know, when you're to me, sometimes, you know, because I say, we got on in I would, and I, there's a funny in I would. I mean, 2 million actually 2017, 2018, 2019. Not dollar, I say. I'm going 4.7. Before 2020, not dollar, almost about 4-5 cities.
IMF budget,
no. Dollar near 5 cities.
IMF budget. It's not your budget.
It has not been working.
IMF budget.
In the first time in this country, the history of this country. So kind for you, Munyamaso, Magana, from Bacho, John Mama by. Also kind for. I was so kind for Amacho Munyamaso.
That's was so kind for perceive some.
I was so kind for
how long
because of prudent management. I MP before a year, get tea. Osha, that is over 16 taxes. You free national
we scrap all of
them. Emma Ghana for. Who will buy from Ghana for some over more than 8 taxes. Including first 50 pesos in one gallon petrol.
Don't misinform the people.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
They're the D-level.
Who buy a Ghana for say electricity won't to 2017 and I go for the petrol electricity was Emma Ghana for. You can testify it and see it. There's a fast and figures. Who buy almost about 70% and we are Ghana for. And your corruption. It's not the corruption.
People bought that down before you left.
It's what I say. Yeah, you know, check. Ghana had na. Baby, what? Now, maybe what? Sanity that. I am mumping that. I didn't for Chairman Rollins. Sanya money in the cost. Mammy Catcher, Nipa, already budget. I have 2 million. Jerry John Rollins. And now to Parliament. Am I kind amo? A friend said, Rick, Yatumsa, and my young senior to me among Parliament. Imagine me what? And I don't know what I'm penning that before, and already batted at me at 2 million, which is not true. What will we do for to go Ghana for any? Tell Ghanaians what you can do to solve the unemployment situation in this country.
Not
the size of governance. Nippon, you know, not a year. Almost 350 million Ghana cedis. 226 million Ghana cedis. And now by less than 8 months, 2.7 billion and Ghana for. And you meanwhile, if you for me, only to my head. Who buy one pound for you know, from 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. What you want me? What the Galamsey board? And now the Galamsey. You are a good board. Me pass on me moon. You say Galamsey board.
By a good board.
I will over to cancer. But me who say Galamsey board. Because some board we buy and some Galamsey board, buy man Galamsey. You 2 cents here. Ghana new brand new one. Uncle Galamsey somewhere.
One I catch and say we deviate from the topic.
That's topic one of me. The topic was one of me. Call one pepe. It's your casa buyer, it's in your team. I will drink Ghana for a man pinning John Mama. Name this for. But the cat Ghana for say, oh, yeah, a friend said, say, a friend, that Mama case. no one ko yi 20% for national insurance ka Ghana mini wu nya tuaka wo di ko yes fan no enye kro no meanwhile the benefit Ghana for Benya no wo want is Ghana go bottom na the same card na Ghana for na the insurance for the asset
I won't take this one man want to mean kaze wa just can go ni bottom wa just can go ni bottom say
but oh scan media 20% no yi through national insurance I also kwa ko ye mama case if at all how do you assess the program and you don't national insurance card now because as a program
but fine you may disagree but until you use the word I don't like the word wa just can go ni bottom your man penny it needs to be accorded with some respect
what you na okate na talk afufa or the money for you money star no everyday corruption what come be antere
so say everyday corruption Agasa for the yes go bottom
any MPP scan na omo via scan na some moto
Agasa
but this sana okay mami here no free imba to anu here correction dey aboy by want to me and get clear
see we have something like collaboration o to be iska if we had the question etibias we iska if we what the question mahama case ni ma untumi ka say corruption don't need for under health
ma tire wa de anu o se onu okwa to pesca and your best
enti onye iska ni bia
iti aden na nga so we program me one agya gugu na wo ka say wo di be ye scan be ye no wo di betumi di akuna insurance so obi abetumi benefit ya no corruption na ye de na say corruption say we so mami can be being tell me you know Ghana for nyina beti bo a wo ni meka ma wati ye ka obi oye corruption no obi ase bi
obi oye corrupt
oye corrupt so say corruption na me say corrupt any corruption ni na ma ye
corrupt
ye tell me say
corrupt
me be ye tell me say who your man is around 4 man ade na ya hwehwem competent to cut the reason hwehwem say ade a wo yi what your man is na dey akotum but obetumi anya MPP ni back since fourth republic anya MPP ni back wo ka corrupt say MPP were corrupt e dey na chance MPP were corrupt wo ko parliament e wo ho wo ko judicial e wo ho some NDC for mu your man is ma ya titi mu atututu aboda pani mu enwum ni ya ni beble na nu kra ma mi be your friend say we refri so betumi abon bi ati obetumi aka bia obetumi aka ni wa do na ko tra boti am ya sentencing e wo Ghana ha so o Ghana ha e nu ka ko tum we are talking about corruption
Tamale Central ayenko enu
correct
2 minutes
jo ya man pani awanya na ebi ko David John Royce e ka che Ghana for nyina say only party or their probability and accountability say ne be yes you be can say ni nyina o see cross capacity for you or person too free the party no who say NDC for the 80% or 70% NDC for the 80% or me corrupt or me control or me control the party no nya biom and only you got to party you are here talking about corruption
yen kwa na kwati enye one ne yere nkwa na kwati
oni ne yere me hu so ne yere
enye one ne yere na kwati
amamu si je ni kanko ni ko me fa so aye be make sure say ni nyama bugu gba kwam mo man na tupo mo ni bi policy se program mo ni bi e buga gba party bo fi ani the test tamale you are taking decision the party make decision say yanko
nti akako for say aga NDC so aga ketua so nko mo fa
but oh si aka say amamu me ba e aka say amamu nti e na obi betumi at pull out from contest election na and NDC for mu ye budi for say mama mu nya kun
say NDC so mo pull out JB dan kwa edu MP wa
who you for sa na o show sa
mo pull out even eduso kra na mo pull out
the decision party ni take it then NDC as a political party say ade na aba no mu nko because of one or two things that no be see on kwa who can say because of amamwo papa who can amamwo bonity na sa amrem na mu nko ana se na amamwo adipon amamwo ene amamwo nyina aye say
lawyer na dey ba this time lawyer na dey ba
MPP guy no say we scar of
it's opening Ghana ha ye we see who the NDC show now the MPP see what when it come to development ni policies are a more man tumpon media mika NDC was on 35% MPP was 75% ya jaw mo kra
data ben now they
yeah the data are there let me to about all the data are there the clear policy in battle the policy ben on there
Mama cares a police.
Mama cares a police. Mama cares a police.
Police.
Oh, we won't profit you more.
That be a police.
Mama care police.
And
never to me the never to me the baba.
Feed Ghana a police.
Feed Ghana MPP initiative. Mama care.
Now do you call like chi any program.
See, feed Ghana a MPP policy. Plenty of people. Yeah, what's Mama cares? Idea for anything. Not church insurance. The who we are nobody be of Mama care because only. John, national politics program. Friend say MPP policy.
All right.
It's a policy ben home to me about.
All right.
I
didn't buy a candidate Chief Dodu. Greater Regional Communication.
Member show phone to go
here. Mike, member also for 10 minutes. MPP for the Temale Central Muko.
Who say about issues critical like this, you expect both parties to show some level of discipline and maturity, and then to tackle the issues head on, and educate the public. Oh no. Honorable, you see, let's not
senior
do this.
members who are all supported by me and MPP.
Honorable, let's not do this. You see, let's wait. You see, this is why I always have issues when it comes to party communicators. The fact that I want to advocate for what is right doesn't mean I don't vote. It doesn't mean I don't have a party that I like their ideologies. The last time I told you point blank, say, if the thing is right, I vote based on the ideologies and the promises that the party is coming with. I voted for Nana Akufo-Addo in 2016 because I believe in MPP's ideologies.
But you were disappointed.
And I voted for Mahama because I believe in the recent ideologies that they are coming with. You get it? I voted for Mahama, of course. And I'm telling you, it doesn't mean I belong to NPP or I belong to NDC. But then I vote for, yes, of course, see the thing is a disappointment. You say it's a disappointment. You get it. But what I'm saying is, you see, let's not be mischievous about this kind of things. When it comes to issues of party or national development. Now, the question was about Temale Central. And my brothers, decided to do their own politics. Thank you. But for the benefit of the Ghanaian watching, we don't know a university student or SHS student watching. Just 60 me
on the social media.
Educated. When you talk about Temale Central, let's give a background history about the constituency a bit. When we came to 1992, the Fourth Republic, Temale Central was not part of those constituencies that emerged under the 1992 Constitution. Temale Central was established in the year, 2004. That is one thing that we need to establish the fact for people to know. Now about NPP, pulling out of the elections, One thing that you need to understand about politics is that sentiments and emotions play a major role in our politics. That's one thing we need to come to terms with. Sentiments and emotions play a lot of role in our politics. And history has said that if anything, time incumbent MPs or whatever, it is clearly said anytime, if they leave or they they exit office due to a tragedy or death, it is obvious their party still retains the seat. And please let me make my point. The reason is you could get to know that people are voting due to sympathy, due to emotions, and due to sentiments, political sentiments. So it is one of the factors that can determine the outcome of an election. Secondly, if you look at the particular regions or constituencies that these things happen, most often than not, it happens at the strongholds of some of the parties. Most times. So it is also another factor to consider. The third thing that you need to understand is that politics is a science. And if you are doing science, you don't just be whimsical and be capricious about things and just throw things in the air can be there. So you must be able to give the scientific narrations, comparing it with history and data. That way, the person watching you or listening to you, will be able to have factual evidence to know. That is why people were able to determine, say, oh, we'll be losing the seat. MPP say what he has here. Because scientifically, people are watching the terrain, looking at voter apathy, looking at the voter confidence in the incumbent government and the opposition government, and that's how they determine who is winning an election. Now let's look at the Tamale Central again. If you look at the vote difference between MPP and NDC, when Honorable Murtala Mohammed won the seat, 58,263 votes, representing 75.84%. That's the science of the data is what I want to pay attention to. 75.84%. Now, Oba Suleiman Asalifu onya 16,647, representing 24% of all total valid vote cast. Now, let's look at the vote difference. 41,616. Do you get what the nuances I'm giving you? So clearly, the NPP knows, say, the moment they work on that election, it is a lose for them, because judging from everything I've mentioned earlier, party sentiment, stronghold, and then history, they know say they don't stand a chance. This is what I'm expecting party communicators to educate the public on, and not on sentiments and political capriciousness and caprices. That's not what we are here to do. But then, if I'm telling you, say the MPP are withdrawing because of this, let me give you the facts and data to just oppose what I'm saying. And this is it. Over 41,000 votes difference. And Honorable Murtala Mohammed at the chain. If anything, Honorable Suleiman Amu. In Sia only hope MPP and NEC are going to that election. Now attention will be more BRA. How do you think
sympathy vote?
That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Now let's go back to history. From 2004 down to this 2024 election. NDC has dominated the scene since. NPP has never won it. So first and foremost thing is it is the stronghold and the comfortable seat of the NDC. Hence, advising the MPP not to go and contest. That's one thing you need to understand. Since 2004. Now the second thing is when you say the lowest percentage that the NDC has ever had in that constituency, the lowest percentage has been 54.09%.
Wow.
The lowest too. And the highest percentage are MPP in our Tamale Central, 44.08%. And no, the depot Ibrahim Imoro or contest if anything, one of their candidates some time ago. That was the best outcome of the MPP, 44%, and the West is 54% on the side of the NDC. So clearly, you think the NPP
the West
better in a way, when this NPP sits down to analyze the facts and data, they know clearly say whatever that they are going in for, it doesn't benefit them in any way, and it won't wash. So let's not try to this public sentiment say, oh, young contested because we are siding with the bereaved family, and we are people of conscience. Or we are leaving it to them. Master, it's a lie. Politics is a science. You study before you move. You think the NPP don't have think tanks that reason with them? And the reason why they are also pulling out and they say they want to create that narrative, say, oh, we know, like my brother said, Akwetia is a swing seat. From 1992 to 1996, it was NDC. The MPP has won the seat, I think twice, 2 times or 3 times.
Yeah, I think twice. I must say, and Eskumi.
Yes, I must say, and Eskumi. 2 times in that seat. So obviously, it's telling you, say, it is not a stronghold of the MPP.
No, it's more than 2.
I'm coming. It's 1, 2, 3. Yes. 2000. Kitchen Akomia. Kitchen Akomia. We need 2000. And Osambi 2000 in Kofi Asari. And I finish in 2024. And Eskumia. And I finish in Amasi. All those things. You get it. But then, it is not like say who compare it to Tamale Central now, where we have NDC dominating the scene all the time. And can we also say Akutani MPP sitter? MPP could have also tried to go after the the Tamale Central seat to see say if they will be able to win. But what they are trying to appeal to, the conscience of Ghanaians. And the NDC say, oh, say Jai Tamale Central, Mamma. You get. No, listen. I'm telling you that politics is a science. That's one thing you need to understand. It is not about one event is a chief Kasa. The facts are there. Go and check. Where's the facts? You are saying facts. They code the facts and let us know the figures you're talking about.
MPP for Council Munko, Senate behind this for Council Munko. That's what you are saying.
No, Mrs. Kasa, you always make sure the fact. Who say on what basis are you talking? I say the facts are there. Go and check. If you are talking, give us the facts to verify whatever you are saying.
What fact are you talking about?
The fact I'm talking about in itself, the Mali Central, NDC stronghold.
Psychologically, I say MPP person almost call political points. Say, oh, young
say who Busami said then. On what basis are you also trying to say President Mahama is trying to be a populist by giving an
evidence?
What evidence? Okay, now bring the evidence. Bring the evidence. No. Bring the evidence. Bring the evidence.
MPP bar, NDC bar, the more person or say, on who said we'll do Ghana for Ghana for. No, no, your own opinion, a person Satania. Into no more, a woman who said you, MCA. I say, I mean, I'm back and said you. What you did your last in the minister who change. No more woman to offices,
this is a populist. So if you are saying it's a populist ideology, why don't you want to understand the fact that the MPP is also trying to play with the minds of Ghanaians on emotional sentiment? Why don't you want to understand?
Simply narcissistic.
Why? Nah, wait, Chief, wait, Chief, I'm on the floor. Okay, Chief is I'm on the floor. Chief is I'm on the floor. I'm on the floor. You see, sometimes, say, Chief, who catch them and say, the President Mahama is trying to be a populist president, trying to win the affection of the state by giving a 1 month, grace period for people to work on their licenses. Now, I may catch you say, the MPP is trying to work on the emotional and the psychological appeal of Ghanaians for them to know, say, okay, say, just, let's establish this fact. With all due respect, the illiterate people in Ghana are more than the educated. Why not? If it's even average, people like I say, be educated are even 60%, 90%, and say they were 40 because more people are going to school now. In the fact, averagely, illiteracy now even 30. Even that 30% is a huge number. And mind you, all those people swallow things hook, line, and sinker. Me, ya but you out grocery market. Oh no, kind graphic. I know can we you. But some catch and say, oh, yeah, Jais and my central sit natural bear. Some muja or no so come back. I say, hey, and then before any papa or my jamusumunja when choma. Thank you. The argument of the Makola woman will be said the NPP are more patriotic. So NDC for no so enjoy way more. That is what I'm trying to establish. So now let's sit here and say you have a right to call someone as a populist president, but then if you are telling you you are using psychological bentus to win public sympathy, you don't want to understand. I am telling you for a fact, politics is a science, and the MPP has sat down to calculate their moves.
And they know they will lose.
They will know that one they outside with the NDC. They will know they will lose. Master, oh come on, Central. Oh, we lose. Oh no, Akwetia is a swing state, and this is not the time to say NPP might win or lose in Akwetia. But that is what I'm trying to listen.
Lambert, last 2 weeks, MPP they are not saying do too much. I say about didn't say MPP between me.
Mami, you see that's why. Let's do the science again. Make sure sometimes we vote on sentimental lines. If it not be this recent way as Sambeshi more, and like election in Basu year, there was a high possibility that NPP could have won the seats because they can use sympathy and empathy. Thank you. What you say, and you know the dirty politics that we do in Ghana. We can equally be working psychologically on the mind of the people. Say, oh, Munshe Bra, Mudio Nifemu, and no crack on away into Muntua Banian Fine Sanya, the Onkonon to Numa Paso. Nipanuanya Shake, Rebecca saying Jumapana or Yensian again Woodman. So it was likely, maybe an answer as other issues, people's sentiments will come down a bit. But now, no, you cannot emphatically say NDC will win the seats because maybe NDC has things to show. Say, okay, per the victories.
MPP phobia, NDC phobia, full prime minister. Now, almost supported Asanka Boyos.
You get it. NPP will have things to test and say, okay, because of this, and they will be able to win the seat. NPP can also.
Okay, NPP prime minister no man kwa. omoma kwa guy no solo asumedu information ama say factor no ebe how
my main of strategy no use you know when the NDC was in a dilemma on making who to come. That's the truth. The NDC were in a dilemma of bringing forth a candidate because your contest 2024 when you no winning lawyer no ebe winning. So the NPP wanted to make this strategy say star mamomo dey here then e dey pe mo candidate no yen dey obi be ba amana be winning the face of the constituents before you bring a candidate forward. That's the strategy yen suko waste time yen ko waste time en electi obi because that one is resource intensive into no yen na yen bra into a consensus and a conclave yen ka say okay when you say represent that way no it comes out publicly you will start doing the groundwork before the NDC will go through their primaries to elect a candidate, and that's the strategy that they are using. But that strategy could have worked. May can't you be say if we don't have all these issues in the system right now, because mind you, no matter how you want to disassociate yourself with this fact, sympathy, emotional sentiments, the scientific nature, history has a lot to play, and then the tribal politics has a lot to play in our politics. And regardless, NDC has a major chance in winning the seats, but then it is likely that the MPP can retain the seats.
All right, fair one. It's like it's the MPP to me retain the seats. Any person can indeed Michael Ojo Ameya, social activist. But I'm quite so Madame Madeleine Oku, a proprietor at the Mount Zion International School, war Katamansu Kube Club number 2. When we chia palm at this Saturday, more the graduation and university Chiam. Na kolano motebrofu amobrofu chief enyezu enya ayuru me afuru mi o mo kabrofu no betiti breaker and the school so dey back was enye academics no ko musa chen kolano nsanu eduma umtumi ya ayo on phone ya ade nyina wa shawo katamaso Kube Club number 2 na minchia the incoming Alhaji Idrisu Isaka incoming constituency vice Alhaji who called vice and now called treasure, and then me say so called treasure who called vice and the first vice was Shama MPP the boss no papa you abuanu pa lose this na comedy and no boy and production na me guess no man mantem na me say 7 na na start na ebo videos na dey din komo but emra me bo videos na mu ni ha nti ba me bo video e my ama jollof video no embrace see na fan ko next topics. Now before Sano, Mr. Algebra so I say para square algebraic especially if page Anthony ba the last one never bado no so ajawa be ken I say no ba become the country it's last one dem it's production en camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 10-round affair for the World Boxing Council Asia Continental Light Heavyweight Championship.
Sawa buasi MP ya wo bi de na wo gina ye hwese ya to abawie wo se chenchen wo de force be gise wa wini ekofa wo nkwala wo boys ba mo be boost MP ebe bu NPP ni no mo twetwe se bio mo twetwe ni hwa ne no kwati nyina edi nnua ene nsika nyina gina le so na wo ka se wo wada yes.
NDC for squarely. That is what I mean. Me person NDC for. Nkwasi asem ni John Mahama Juma wodi. Juma yeso ye di wo mo papa. Na sa plane crash ni be make sure say Mahama ye be kuno. Me akosu adolo na America. Mahama ye be kuno akuni biem. Na ono de kokko boto na ye de ni be hyem. John Mahama kokko boto. Ene ye de ni be hyem ni akyekyere ano ni ato atwe. Ye be kyere mu pa. Won kwan e fa so mo say
Yo. Same way I am the so say youth coach. we may in politics. In some be saying, no, me want me tell you. Then depression na your boy mo pa na then depression. What is it?
Yes. But well, in some be saying no, say and yes, sir, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Obia or sa liberal mentality one. Anka sa kweya waka sa Anka fast track. Now we are sure say Obi can some way 8 years and another down kwa kufu adwa. Aka by this time. Me fan to aka by this time. What imagine what would have happened to
sir, okay. Production. Maya, me baba, I don't know what you mean. Maya, someone first video. Na yentimbra.
And someone will tell you.
Yentimbra.
Or your board be member.
You better ba, first video no someone will tell them the chance. Production, can you
crash. Asofo nyina bi nya plane crashes. American sofo baako yi minim ni din. Mo back about 3 years or 4 years ni Erado wane na yere omo konya plane crash no mu wiye. Yanka kra no na American superstar ya obo baseball yi. Kobe Bryant. Wono so ne ba a 17-year-old girl Erado mo konya plane crash no mu wiye. Erado na no Africa ya play me kwa sure no say since the power 150 cent and mu ye Erade moja edi bimbebre chire omo nkwa enam plane crash Erade boy na sa play we to a mofom Erade crash sa ni palo be sa crash sa play we crash oko ha crash sa play we Ghana will lose nothing Erade so claim this innocent weak
Did he come out to say the kind of treatment that Mudiman or Adra or Mochino?
Why are we focusing?
Bongo ideas.
Bongo ideas.
Say your last prayers. And you know how traumatic and how traumatizing that experience will be for the rest of the life of that young man. But I could now have some way the number one gentleman of the land. That's a people up. Then party officials.
Akufo-Addo was also number one president of the land.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's why he was picked up, isn't it? That's why he was picked up. And I'm asking you, do you know the kind of treatment he was given backstage when Bongo Ideas made those comments about the Akufo-Addo?
But these people are also not out, so let's wait and see the treatment they will also go
So the issue is that we all know that with John Dramani Mahama as president, these people will not be given the kind of inhuman treatment.
President Mahama is not in the prisons or the police or the custody.
And I'm saying that because of him and because of the atmosphere created in the country, because of the civility of leadership that we have now, they cannot be tortured. Even when Tumi was arrested, did they torture him?
Oh no,
he wasn't tortured. Those ones were pretensions. We all know. He told you politics is science, but he didn't add that politics is also an art. Politics is not just science; it is a science and an art on top. Inti obi yachi obi no epia ba bonje no Olympia. How I come say then one year. Oba na about voices when we say what is his name? Sticker akwa kwajina studio. No so me man ni mobo. I have one mobo. And you know and your finger no in other corruption scandals after they won the election. So it is both an art and it is a science. It is out of all I am saying. Yes, they have been picked. But what I'm saying is that even though they have been picked, the treatment will be different because of the difference in leadership we have now. Now we have a leadership of civility where people will be detained and they will not be tortured in detention. What I say. But my word to these young people, dear would dear that Me, I tell all my young people when I meet them and I'm talking to them that the internet never forgets. The internet never forgets. So whatever you are putting out there, we young people, you are insulting adults, you are insulting, and then discuss Kamara, no, Kasafa, New Tank, title of the premier, New Tank, the attitude of the new generation. So, Mumwadie, Omutise, Omutisa, and then we put some Kolane say, is it the fault of the new generation or do the old generation people also have a role to play in it? Kolane, you know, say, the old generation, no, and because if they had been trained properly by the older generation, they wouldn't be behaving the way that they did. The younger generation are saying that.
Media activists.
The younger generation are saying that it is not like they want to do the things that they are doing, but one training or muye, one teach or muye. That's why over every language we have two things. We have the Makala and we have Klamase. They are two different things. The Makala is Yahoo, but the anticho. Klamase is Wahoo for a so so the youth are saying that they are actually not Klamase because the adults are using to play their role just from the beginning. As early as 2 years, then you leave the child with a nanny. You are going to work. As early as 3 years, a grand and Shashe and Kasaya, where Jana will be only normal or the one who fear, only normal the money D. You know the things your children are consuming in your absence. I will for Montio. Now, more sorry. Our children are under threat. Our children are under threat. So if we train our children well, we will be seeing these things. Because it's not my child who will go out and do this. Because you don't see your father doing that. You don't see your mother doing that. So why would you do it?
The social media no so
social media no send Kolano, but I blame the parents. Because if my child has access to social media, it depends on what I feed my child with. That is what my child will come out with. What do you say? So if you, the parent, you are playing your part and your child is still misbehaving, fair, you are justified. But if you know that there are places I 1 year, one family year as a parent, and I will man age media, and here
Sebi Omuji media.
Sebi Omuji media, and here I will follow. You have a big blame to take in that regard. And the right thing because our children are under threat. No man now, yes, shipping a more, yes, shipping a more phone, so it is influencing them negatively. But so who parent no what to not say who go through your child's phone with the child, not say who correct you know. Sometimes I go through the phone with my kids. I tell them, this one, you see, this one is bad. You will say that oh, don't let the child watch. Yeah, who say more but me I will watch with them and I will tell them which one is bad and which one is good. But I say oh man but me never my catch and say we in there papa into we are this is what it means. If I see a poor child, I don't tell my child, oh, if you don't go to school you will become like this poor child. No, I tell my child, if you do, you have to go to school so that you can give this child a better life. And I say, and was it waiting? I can't 1 minute into who on Chebi and the account now. Okay, I can't 10 minutes, 5 callers on the time. Conclusively on this matter, me say, Akwetia, ye fanchable. Ye kwakotwa ma lawyer Bediako. Lawyer Bediako baby. Akwetia. Iti Akwetia for na me mentis amu Akwetia mo tie me Esther nom wise mo na mo tie me. I'm giving you this special greeting. When you go out there, tell your people, Spurgeon and the rest, they catch your money now. When you go out, tell your people, say, Muntu Abanema, lawyer Bediako, because your future is at stake. Now, I want you, boss. On top of that, I would want to extend my special greetings to my boss, Honorable Dela Afeto. Dela, unya appointment, Edinu Bonnier, Afeto. Bonnier, Bonnier,
Apeto.
Anyway, you have tried. What money? Any deputy.
Oyema sisiare. Osu ya appointment to ba show you should be. Was you know
lawyer James Enu. Unim the gaba or the man.
Almost 27,000.
The man work. 41,000.
Okay, yeah, 41,000.
27,000. 41,000 for the first time in the history of the NDC, and it will repeat. It will repeat in.
All right, chief.
It will repeat in Akwetia.
Mr. Ojibra,
it will repeat in Akwetia. You will see.
But you might never win him.
You will see.
Social media activists here power.
Sometimes you know when you are in this for with your woman, and not sometimes when my Ghana for who say politics here. Ebia, you know, I bet you now I can be good. Potobun Sugu, but I don't think so. And I don't think says anything. The politics will be a channel, Obia, and can you one of you mad, you bet me. I hear Edia Bois or mine. Obekaya, bra, Nana Damba. Mammy coming to tell the area of military, Bugabugan, Yachim. The area of Nyamaya, Sebu, and San Patat Yachim. The area of Betim California, we are drawing to Sakura, Papa Yachim. And to say, your rules and regulations and laws and what kind of have, you did my eye, you did mine. This office of the eye, you've been now. But from my passion of thing. So, be qualified.
What I say, production for Obama, Casa. He sound different. Or you will be a friend of Obama and won't get it.
Now, Makoye, Sanyamon, and some
Fatoso.
But as for me, I will condemn all those things. I'm also for various platforms. So, MPP were entity, yes, sir. MPP, no matter the and keep me keep. Crawford people are almost free this for you. Brand him saying this for the say I come to trust him and the Basabasa, you could tiba and to NDC for you. Until the NDC for you now, Ghana for him. And so says you MPP party, but I will condemn. So be to me. I come on where I tell and your man no can say move, open a Casani platform so. And a man to me determine the any parent become platform, but I'm not out. I be patcho. Nipana echi mo ba patch PS or patch it taxes us am omo ye no ma kwaso no ye se ne be ya but ye ka se ye ka e some farm president one ye man peni kwa ka se na kufa do kra be wu be pen be kai o se na kufa do yo peni se kan ko po be wu a na kufa be kan which is okay it is not a fact it obi ti nko tu and this farm ko your friend say demonstration na nyakubo kun na do ma ye enu achi obi asam de
ye boss video some ye
semi je ya ye bi
oh production mama sa video no let me mama sa video no
I'm not here to testify
jamina mikita platform
I'm here
let me na mikita platform 2014
but
2014 eba sa ba so
mama come
say production mama sa video no MPP for the cassette. Show when you hold your production.
I expose in this for when you say MPP before the sound demonstration, you make us say former president Mama. Because of my because of Mama. When I bought the police before can. And I also saying that look at the demonstration. All we demonstration. When MPP penny the audio himself, but wait. God board, your friend is can I say board penny or the yes, some or the and no, it's me. I've said, Sanyam, Mammy, you're condemning, and yet I dare say, your mum penny.
Nativa Miss out, Baumiana Kelly.
Oh, you see, said I'm cut out, say, media obi be friend bia we go
That's what I mean. Okay.
Right. I and woman manage pa. And so ba o say no. Wo ba make corrupt asem bia.
Honorable Medase. I was very sad. I think I didn't watch the video to this extent. But listening to what the woman was saying, say, I just don't want to even repeat it. But then I'll just a minute and I'll touch on what my brother was talking about the social media algorithm. And sometimes we are made to believe, sir, the social media ABA or projecting or no. And ABI pushes certain narratives, man. But there's a general algorithm, and then there is a, how to call it, the minor algorithm, which you, the user, you create for yourself. So if I sign up to TikTok right now, the general algorithm will give me things in Ghana, I call viral. What you say? And none of the better me. Until I'm signing up to social media, they ask you your interest, food, dance, music, whatever. Until who choose who you are, it will select the predominant, how to call it, aspects now, I call viral on that social media, no, and push it to you. The moment you want to exceed a certain number of seconds and like, what you are telling the social media algorithm is, okay, this is what I prefer to constantly see on my feed. What you are saying. You know, if it gives you that generalization, then you as an individual, you sieve it to your own. Your person constantly. Sometimes people believe say they are all like a pan, you are very repeat them, but no. If you watch a video for more than 10 seconds, what you are telling them is say you have interest in it because that's caught your attention. What you are saying. Now coming to Ghana generalization, I've already spoken about the dopamine effects of how followers and likes are. What you are saying. The youth are so much invested in social media to the extent say they believe their livelihoods depend on it. People are using it for positive gains. But to settle or to score political points, people are also using it to cause more harm than good. Just like what we are saying. And talking about, if possible, say his honorable Minister for Digital Community, Sam George, able to me as shutting down social media. It's not about shutting down social media. In UK right now, do you know what they do? There is a new, how do you call it, an update news anchor, if we all know him, News Daddy, the very dial page, or UK. He gives news all over the world. You know, only social media that the other year, no. He has almost about getting to 10 million followers. In UK, they say, passing law say, if you comment on something that the algorithm thinks say it can cause national issue, it triggers certain national discourse. The program on country website, they say automatically, you know, it will block it from going further. That is how they have done it in the UK. And when America says so, it is not necessarily about blocking or shutting down the entire internet. What you are saying. But then, it is about using the technicalities. Say, okay, if people give a hate speech, the system has been designed so that hate speech will not go further. Encore, the system will automatically take it down. What I say, and you may not need to even go and issue a message blast. Say, nobody should share this video or this information. No. And then the guy came out publicly this week to come and say, if the issue persists, he will even leave the UK to another country because that's almost restricted. Because that's what he used to feed. I don't know the Ejuma. What you are saying. But then again, as this country, we have given a lot of liberty to people to behave anyhow. Do you know why we can't curtail it? Because at the end of the day, a Koba, we benefit from it. The politicians benefit from it. So somebody can play 2 videos. We play 2014, we play 2023. Maybe what? Obi Kenbi. And at that 2014 MPP for can NDC for speaking against him. But little did they know say it will get to a time being in opposition will feel very uncomfortable in terms of meeting thank you officer I can be the same way and then say information the communication minister Cassis is always CV internet normal speeches be and confederate say no more power it will favor them right or wrong but some free it will go against them so they will not do it. And this is what we always do to ourselves, comparing bad to worse. And that's the evil canker. Now, let me say this to the youth of the Ghanaian language. You can have a political discourse without insulting or issuing anything defamatory. That is what I do. I give political commentary on social media a lot. But you hardly hear me insult anybody. Abusive words. Because... I mean, thank you. Because we have what we call... Thank you. We have what we call a digital footprint. I may not know where God will place me one day. But say one day I could do in Pempensuo Bia. Now feel be kwako yi me video I can say, hey, ure fi say and say about can say. So I am very conscious of the things I say and the things I do online. I have pictures that I post and pictures that I do not post online because I know one day obi betima ko yi aba say unkola abem say now yeah. Inti na manu si na me den chia magana for youth na and then I destroy them the be I say when you go out there and you are going to sell your party's ideas, do it without insult because one day you might not live to explain yourself and that party now will defend you. Hey, beer, they cannot come to your aid to save you when you need them.
All right, Michael, good job, Mr. Algebra, any para square, any echo square over the square root of the who's here, Majuba, and that's why I quite swear me than one of my
my city, my radio, more poetry. Miss Remusho, Musho, you are educating Ghanaians. Many bedroom.
That's this show in particular.
Oh, yes, this show particular. More educated Ghanaians, many bedrooms, Sanka, the piano, a man for Benya, Queen, no more experience with show. And they are by a different level to the extent I was here for.
Bound said Monday now by oh, trendy about. Oh, be afro. Oh, me got TikTok, move videos now. I am gonna be posting you. Then we say platforms be brave. After one now you be our bar, most of our trendy pass. And some can have a can. Oh, trendy, papa. And Yamina Dana. And you'll be quite chatting with some. Oh, yeah, then I'm so using no matter. I'm very careful.
Oh, sir, can I do man on a offer? Sir, young Gopon Fro said, Makena. One here because me catcher was said, Canada Japan sentence next started was sent or by election. Me abra you
now Matista so beko for you for organizer was enough. Ubeko.
Yabeko.
Now Uska.
Sika. Yam football Sikanya Massen of was Siano and executives you done. What do you ever come was a man? Messi Canada, you man, your friend. Say, unya sorry so koye Canada, you man, now whom ya be do it. And Tiana one say air trend this because Ghana for him. The work Canada, Japan, no one who said the air cannon say then, no correct. Bra and I like your papa. Oh, what organize 140 Oh, dear, son, buy a real 38.7 at all. Son, yes, you was near the United, almost sorry. But then that year can say, yet the tourism, you reckon that you come once a minute, the Nancy and Lee. Once a near can social media and send. Young youth for Kenny, ye did this say social media and on the boundary. What I say? And tis our mind penny what Yakunasu JDMCC a catcher TikTok for a catcher Instagram for Facebook say and you may be a air cost or Ghana content be a day cost me or man penny no men pay or me my TikTok for my kinds of Ghana from Fanto. And tear our boundary said Ghana man penny best sorry no betty the year Kenya. One sorry, one country TikTok for no. Once a paper for share your own Ghana and went to almost services in Ghana. Say, yeah, so be the Sabia walk, and I said TikTok be this at California at the NDMB. Was he say videos now? Debbie was he say video the pictures now? No, the naked back could be no, the womb.
Ah, teleportation.
Ah, media the meanings and teleportation. I was for Alvaro who said the social media no it is not helping. Sabia, Ukroma said that her own fan got to her. Sabia and Adani Castro, a woo on Puanoa, and Nayafa Bibi says, what a guard you say, Okaman on your friend Bibi Marine soldiers, Marine police. Sadia no nanka was said, your tourism ne fan into my pefra, our Ghana, and Kawamo woo or Punim woo or rivers in Kensio. Since I also on Cobogalam saying mobile, who Pama man for don't go for an Okobomobile. But there were no compuano said, walk or dinner Nicacra. Dear, can say what the tourism ever be a Juma. Can say more tons and will beach in a bar near or the different method they ba different strategy they ba send your ultimate through plane echo Dubai some a concert Kennedy Japan see a brasso or don a ball and edge a boss you bet me a baby na creative employment a creative fund a creative resource may say oh dear say obia pa young part of national development in my private sector. Tourism and yadia ban obey me aye. Say private sector memoir. Tourism and yadia obey me aye. And Team Kennedy Japan ya tenase ya analyze those names. Mpacho bizaza ban hotels and all Ghana has it. A ban hotels near the cry ya Jumano cry. Yeah, no cry.
They said what is the last hour be our Jabos into the last hour and
the last hour the American said. The American said.
But can't follow some me Munshano.
NPP
and I'm person measure.
Oh, I don't one MP was and one answer. The Yakata NPP delegate in say. You reckon the Japan say from President for policies about. Nanado the policies about. By me in would delegate in where young fast and free. And why Quaver 1 man nanado for 1 month, 1 who pay and you. But director Mahama Befana Juman, what you pay? Who come for young to Obama Kennedy Japan? No one Bambi MPP, no one from Punta Ghana, and a penny be best so. Now, Ara who saw the code was a quatua Bamobi, now down the day, who not be Bianca and Jenny Panse, Jinaso Fatua. We have hope in Kennedy Japan.
We have hope in Kennedy.
And there were GDS MPP funds about
okay, all of one you ready to say, I can follow up with my chair, but time as this year. Or Jimmy expression, the power square about Jabosu. If you have to pay out Monday. Yabesa edi di mudu edi abro yesramo ye wa ha ye kase se bia ye kasa ni bia nkoyi yebese se mo de beche yankopon adoma Monday yebese hia me no de kra good evening bye bye
ajatwe nme kemenhye